And welcome, day 2 of the U.S. Go Congress here in Madison, Wisconsin. I am, as you can tell from my fancy dancy sweatshirt here, Chris Garlock with the American Go e-Journal. And this, of course, is this major Go event here in North America. You are watching, this is round 1. Board 1 of the U.S. Master. This is our premier Go event with me, Steve Colburn. Steve, of course, is the TD, wears many, many hats, not at the moment, but he is the tournament director for the game that hopefully you saw yesterday, exciting game in the City League.
Yep.
But let me just introduce, before we talk about that, the players. Jeremy Chiu, 6th Dan. He was the 2016 Redmond Cup champion against, of course, Mark Lee, 7th Dan. What just says here, 2014 U.S. Masters champion, but I know he's won the cuts and
he's
so many
a
times.
dominant force in American Go.
Dominant. I was saying this morning, because I've recorded many of his games. Yes, Babs. What?
Mark's playing black.
Mark is playing black. Thank you. Mark is playing black, and I was joking with you this morning, Steve, that do we give the trophy to Mark now, or do we just sort of wait till the end of the week?
It's going to be a tough week, and I think Mark is going to win a lot of games, but he hasn't won all of his games ever.
I couldn't remember him losing, but you pulled up some stats for me.
Yeah,
here.
so we have the American Go database, agagd.usgo.org.
Check it out.
And you can check out anybody's member if you want to check out Mark Lee, who's apparently lost 5 times.
I am shocked.
In his entire Go career in America.
And he's been here a number of years now.
Yeah, he's I think he's been back and forth to Korea a number of times, so he studies really hard.
He's such a serious. I mean, most Go players are, but Mark.
He's got that look, the like Terminator look of like I need to kill all the stones.
And he does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, an amazing player. His games, I have to say, he reminds me back in the day. You remember Gili?
Oh yeah.
And Gili had a similar record where he just could not lose a game.
Until he started getting other things happening in his life.
Family, kids.
But he would come to tournaments and just be like, it'd be the same thing. Do we just hand him the trophy?
I still remember, and you probably remember this too, Gili, the one game that he lost, it was actually his first round at the Congress. He lost by 1 point. He had just flown in from someplace, was completely jet lagged. I remember sitting there, and he was just exhausted, and he had just miscounted by one tiny. It was shocked, completely shocked. It was very unusual.
But I think he did great the rest of the week.
He did. Once he got some sleep,
right,
he was fine. So anyway, you can, when you're watching Mark, we'll talk about this, and Stephen Hu, of course, will be back to do game commentary with one of the many fabulous pros that are just sort of, there are more pros you can't turn around without bumping into.
Yeah, there's like 440 people at this Go Congress, and I think there's 16 or 17 pros here. And I've seen about half of them so far, and they're so friendly and great, and they know so much. And they're so helpful. They're like, oh, you want to review a game? Great.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, folks, if you're in the area, feel free to drop by. Whether or not you play Go, it's a very friendly crowd. People are always willing to introduce you to the game. It's just kind of fun to be. I was just hanging out in the big playing room.
Yeah.
Day 1, the stream was a little bit delayed because you've been a TD.
Day one
is usually
happens
a little
and,
dicey.
People get in early on Saturday morning, like, I want to play in the U.S. Open, and then a repairing happens, and we get a little bit late. So
any of the gamers out there will understand that.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. We've been pretty good, but it should be.
Well, Andrew Hall's running things, and the guy is, he got up there today. He said, Andrew Hall, the TD, I am your god. Which is,
and you can't miss him. He's one of the few guys that has a full sleeve Go tattoo.
Tattooed. Yeah, is he the one that has the leg tattoo with as well, the full?
It could be.
I think so.
Remember.
Yeah. We need to do a whole photo series of all of the various Go tattoos.
Yeah.
So put Phil Strauss on that. All right, I wanted to talk to you, Steve, about the City League.
Yep, the Pandana AGA City League Finals was yesterday. I thought there were 3 very exciting matches.
I'm a little disappointed in the results. I have to say, as being from DC, we got shut out last year. I don't play, obviously. I'm not strong.
Yeah, the Greater Washington, they've been in the finals, I think 5 of 7 years. They've been this close so often, and the team hasn't changed much. It's Tim Song, Eric Louis
Tim Song, by the way, is one of the ones who
is one of the few people that beat Mark Lee.
Mark Lee.
Yes. Everybody that's beaten Mark Lee has been a professional. No amateurs have beaten Mark Lee.
And by everybody, that's 5 people.
Yeah.
It's a very small crowd.
Right.
So Tim Song is going to be somebody to keep an eye on.
Right, but I don't think he's playing in the Masters.
That's right. That's right. Did he have to leave?
I haven't checked on that.
Okay, that's too bad. It would have been interesting.
Yeah. So the board 3 this year was Yuan Zhou, who, as you know, is a very, very great teacher. And if you haven't picked up any of his books, highly recommended. They're great.
You could fill like a whole shelf with Yuan Zhou's books at this point.
Oh yeah. But this year's winner was the New York City team, as was last year.
They didn't even give DC one game. Not even one game. I thought somebody was gonna. Actually, I thought Eric. I told Eric this morning. I was teasing him. I was like, "Dude, what happened?" You know.
Yeah, that game.
That game was tough.
Yeah. So Eric Louis was on board 2. He played Han Cheng Zhang. There was of the 6 people playing in the finals, 1 was not a professional, which was Yuan Zhou. But still, he's very strong and up there.
But Yuan, gotta just say about Yuan once again, time trouble.
A little bit. He was one of the first in Byoyomi. I was watching Stephanie just sitting at the table, and she had her head down, focused. There's so many pros we've watched, game recording.
Well, if you think about, one of the things with clock management, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that Stephanie does so well is, Yuan, of course, likes to front load all his thinking time into the beginning of the game.
Right.
And Stephanie, of course, is using that time as well.
Yep.
So by the time Yuan makes his move,
she's thought about it for a number of minutes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Go check out all the games we're going to have posted in the e-journal this morning.
Okay.
Eric's game I thought that was real close. Big fighting in the middle.
Yes.
So that went on. It was like the first opening ended, and then the all middle game was just a giant middle fight.
Yeah.
And it looked crazy. Han Cheng Zhang was just like most of the way through the game.
It was a knife edge game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Board 1 looked really exciting. They had a lot of people standing around it. Ryan Lee, always a favorite. Not to say that Eric isn't or Stephanie is, but everybody was trying to win.
Such a nice guy. Not that there aren't.
They're all nice. They're all great people. It's lovely.
Really, really nice guy. And and of course I'm half joking. I'm just from DC, so I got to go with the home team. But the New York, crowd, great crowd, and they are dominant. They do a terrific job. They've been in the finals pretty much.
This is the 3rd year they've played, and so this is the 2nd year they've been in the finals.
Right.
The first year they were in the B League and got promoted. So this upcoming year, the Bay Area team near San Francisco, they've got like Minju Zhang on the team and another pro,
right.
And so they're very strong. They dominated the B League. They're going to come up next year and provide some other
competition
challenges.
there.
So the top 3 is going to be very interesting in the upcoming year.
Question came up. Somebody was, I think it's actually it was the pro that we had doing the commentary on board 1. I guess she's out of Steven. She's out of Montreal, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they were asking. So it's the team that she's going to put together, is talking about put together, is like all pros. And so the question, would they go right into A, or you just have to win your way out?
You have to win for a team like that. I can
sort of explain how it works for folks who don't know.
So the PandaNet AGA City League is a team tournament. It's all over. It's any
doesn't
city.
Mean that people play like.
No. It's by team.
Still
It's 3 boards. Yeah, it's generally 5 to 7 people. You have a captain, you have three players, and an alternator 2. And so you play 3 boards at a time. Whoever wins 2 out of the 3 games wins that round. On our website, you can see there's a listing of board points and games, so there's a little bit of a difference in scoring. But there's a lot of games that you have to win at least 2 games every round to be someone like these teams to get in the finals.
So it really means something to get into these finals.
So the last few years we've had 3 leagues. There's 8 teams per league. We play 7 rounds. It's round robin. And so if you're
they're played online.
They're played online on PandaNet, which you can get on any operating system or any phone
You were
system.
telling me a funny story about you were on the golf links and just pulled it up on your phone.
Yeah, there was a game going on. I had to check on it, so I pulled my phone out, opened up the PandaNet app, went to the City League room, saw the game, and was watching it for a couple holes just on the side. And it was great. You can get it from anywhere.
Nice.
So similarly with OGS and some other things, but in the league, a strong team like that will enter into the B League. They'll probably dominate the B League throughout the year.
That's what they're thinking.
And then they can be promoted.
And then they'll promote.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, we've had issues with people trying to get right in the A League, try to be. It's the most competitive, but we have to have certain promotion.
That was my thinking, was that you'd have to, people need to prove their way in. And now talk a little bit about this. Has been going on in Europe for how many years? It seems like it's been quite a while.
We've had it in the U.S. for 7 years. I think they've had it for 9 or 10 years. It's now expanded to Latin America.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they have their own city league, and they've been going for a year.
Okay.
So I don't know the results of the other leagues. It's on the PandaNet website. That's all the information that's available.
Okay.
There's team information, player information. It's kind of interesting because this is one of the few ongoing tournaments for very strong players to play in during the years. Mm-hmm. If you're a kid, you play in the high school league. If you're in college, the ACGA has been really good and huge for college students. And this is really for older folks that want to play and they're very strong. We do have a C League as well, which is generally a handicap league. But if we get more teams, we make more leagues. So it's generally about 8 teams per league, and then as we get more teams, we just make more leagues.
Because I know in Europe, I want to say they've got quite a few leagues.
Yeah, they've got 3 or 4 leagues. They play even longer than we do.
They do.
But it's country based.
It is.
So it's a little easier for Europe because there's like 20 countries in Europe. And everybody's got their own team, but they can have, the strong team, the B team, the C team, and it's a country thing. So if it was like America and we load up all of our pros, that's a strong team. Mm-hmm. But not everybody can play.
Right.
So.
What's cool, I actually followed it when it was in Europe because we were doing coverage for the E-Journal, and one of the things I noticed, and I'm seeing it now here in the U.S., is that it does give people kind of a chance to root for their, little regional thing going on.
Yeah, it's like rooting for your regional baseball team.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell us about just for the A League, for example, so I know there's DC.
There's Greater Washington,
right.
Which is basically the DC area.
Sure.
There's New York City. There's a Seattle team, a Boston team, a Waterloo, Ontario team. They did very well. I'm blanking on the other 2 teams, unfortunately, but it's been very, very competitive. I love watching the games because some of these people, a lot of these people are at Congress as well, and we get to know them over so many years. Mm-hmm. It's like, I like Jeremy Chiu plays he plays for Bay Area. Mark Lee has played for the Los Angeles team, which was one of the first winners of this tournament. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people playing that are in the Masters that we get to continue to watch, and we get to know over many years. So it's kind of fun that we know so many people involved.
And that was a cool thing too, besides having sort of that home team thing, but then you've also, as you say, got some of the personalities that really develop, or people that you've seen individually. And
so even if like, and I try to tell people like Ryan, if you're a fan of Ryan Lee, for example, you're going to root for the New York City team, or Eric Louis for the Greater Washington team. Mm-hmm. Like you get to, it's not just your local team you get to root for. It's also your favorite players because they are individual players as well, but they're on a team.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's always nice. It's a nice way to start out to go Congress. I think it was a little crazy, and again, full props to Babs and the whole team here.
They did a fantastic job.
Really went down to
Could
the
not
wire.
do it without those.
Right. We weren't sure we were going to pull it off, but I had total confidence, and so thanks again to those guys for that, and thanks to you because I know you put a lot of time into it over many months.
We're gonna have registration open again next month.
No rest for the wicked. Right?
I got a couple weeks. That's about it. So
rest
a couple planning weeks. Yeah.
All right. So we'll go back to the game. I just want to a quick update. So there are going to be 7 rounds instead of the usual 9 rounds this year for the Masters. So those of you who are planning to watch on Saturday morning, you're going to have to find something else to do with your Saturday morning.
As well as Tuesday evening, which was moved around initially, and now we've dropped that.
From the staffing perspective, and I did not hear any complaints from the players, so I think we are all good. So, all right, well, that's, again, Steve, congratulations, well done, get some rest, and then it's back to work.
Back to work, yes.
And we will be back shortly. I think what we're going to do is we're going to let the Board 1 game here play out a little bit, develop, and then Stephen will be here with some professional commentary. And I've got some surprises lined up for you for interviews later on this morning. So we'll see you soon.
Should be very exciting.
It will be very exciting.
Awesome.
Guaranteed. Welcome back to our coverage of the U.S. Masters Championship here at the 2019 U.S. Go Congress here in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. This is round 1, board 1. Jeremy Chiu, 6-dan, is playing the White Stones, and Mark Lee, 7-dan, is on black. The game's already shaping up to be very interesting. And so let's go to our commentators. We have Stephanie Yin, 1-dan professional, and Stephen Hu, 6-dan professional. Over to you guys.
Well, hold on. Stephen's not pro.
Stephen is not pro. I just promoted him. He's actually just a 6-dan regular.
No, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. We can make that happen. But yeah, thank you, Chris, for that wonderful introduction. Certainly, of course, a really good morning to all of you guys watching out there. This is round 1. As Chris has already mentioned, we have some pretty good commentary. I'm very excited because I'm joining Stephanie in 1-dan pro again. So it's going to be another repeat of the final transatlantic round commentary team. So good to see you in person.
Good to see you too. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. I hope you're hyped for this event. It's been we've been talking about this all morning. This is actually the best tournament we have in North America, right? So it's only meant for the best players, and I think it's definitely a tough school. So whoever can survive, the 7-round format is definitely gonna, they can be very proud in calling themselves a very strong player. So what's up? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
We had a pretty good day. So hopefully we'll get more content coming up. I'm really excited to talk to everyone. Like usually this is when we get to see some really good games in person. Already on board 1, as we mentioned already, like Mark Lee is playing. So Mark Lee versus Jeremy Chiu. That's going to be our spotlight matchup of the day. Speaking of which, you can actually root for them in the polls underneath the video players. You can also check out this game on OGS. The online Go server, of course. There's a banner, so you can just follow where the crowds are. So you can just check this out if you don't want to wait for the commentary. But like Mark Lee is, one of the strongest players out there. But Jeremy, as we mentioned before, he won the Redmond Cup once. He's actually going to play this afternoon as well at 3 p.m., I believe. So it's going to be another repeat.
For him. And
definitely.
There is another round at night, or?
Yeah, I think there's another round today at 7 p.m. So that's like maybe round 2, actually, by the way. We will be covering that, so make sure you tune in to that. But like Jeremy has like 3 games today.
Right.
I guess it's not so much of a problem when you're like 17, right?
No, not a problem. Full of energy.
So he's going to be up for that, of course. Actually, it'll be the last Redmond Cup final for these guys. He's playing, of course, his old friend and foe, let's say on the board, Aaron Ye, who's also playing the U.S. Masters, of course. Both of these guys are super strong. That if you look to the U.S. kind of youth scene, these are the 2 names that always pop up. So that's going to be a pretty good match. But anyway, let's just dive right into the commentary.
Okay.
If we can catch up with the game. Actually, I don't think there are many moves so far, so we can maybe take kind of a relaxed pace, maybe. But anyway, Mark is black, so we just.
Mark, he used to be very fast-paced style. But if I remember correctly, he has won 1 time or 2 times U.S. Open champion.
Oh, he won the U.S. Masters in 2014 in New York, I think.
Right.
And then as Chris already mentioned, he didn't drop any games. I think in the total amount of I don't know, I think it's 100 games that he played, or maybe at least like 50. He only lost like 5. So very rarely does he fall against. Of course, he's never lost against amateur players. The only people who have beaten him in North America are like professionals in the U.S. Masters, for example. He lost, I think, 3 games in one of the U.S. Masters in 2015, and then maybe he lost the odd game here or there in some tournament. But he almost never loses. When we covered this. One of the tournaments in Los Angeles, the Costin Open. When we do that, whenever we see his name on the roster, it's like, yeah, okay, we know. Yeah, all right, he's going to win. But yeah, certainly Jeremy, I think, is a tough challenger. Have you seen any of his games?
In Jeremy's games?
Yeah.
I only able to see his Ramen Cup games. That's it. I can't remember how other games I have seen before. Yeah, for Jeremy.
Okay,
But
so
I've been seeing a lot of games about Mark, and we used to play a lot of 20-second game in a
really?
Previous Congress, long time ago. But after 2014, and he kind of not that. How do I say this?
He's
Very
not as active,
that often anymore. But
well, he tells me that he plays more StarCraft nowadays than Go. But
oh no.
He's here to win. So, yeah. So of course we'll see how he does. I think this is actually his first tournament in quite a while. So it's been a couple of years since we saw him back in action at U.S. Masters. So we should find out how he does this year.
Yeah, it is very nice to see him come back. Yeah, this is 2019. It has been 5 years we haven't seen
4 or
him.
5 years. So yeah, like one of the points of being in U.S. Masters is you get to play some really good people, right? And then maybe that's actually gonna help our strong amateur and professional AGA players, gain some tournament experience for sure. Anyway, Mark is black, so actually he started with a pretty old school opening, I thought. We had a peek at the game record early on. So yeah, pretty straightforward opening, I think. Why just open with Nirensei, I think, just 2 star points in a row.
Yeah, so the 2, 3, 4 point is the best way, one of the best way to avoid 3-3 invasion, since the 3-3 invasion is getting so popular and very complicated, like we talked about in the Transatlantic last round.
Yeah, we had a conversation about you telling Ryan, right, don't play the start point, and then he says,
but he chose to play 2 star point instead.
Yeah, as we mentioned, he has a video about it, right? So it's like a pretty powerful showcase of how to deal with a 3-3. Actually, early on in the game, though, we didn't see any of that. I thought, Black's just gonna jump in with some 3-3 stuff, and then we're gonna see some. Is it called the flying dagger, right? The flying blade or something? It's a super complicated Joseki.
Right.
And nowadays, when strong players do that, right, they just dive into a 50-move sequence.
Right.
Which basically, it would just erupt, in one corner of the board. Because we used to say that the pretty complicated Josekis are the large avalanche,
Large avalanche.
right? Like the magic sword, the Taisha, and those are the 3 things you want to try to avoid. Or I don't know, if you're into complication, you could welcome it. But yeah, 3-3 has become one of the most
complicated Josekis.
Yeah, definitely. But actually, in this game, we haven't seen that, which is quite interesting. We were actually joking around when we saw the opening moves in this game, because this is pretty old school. You'll see that in Go book sometimes. Yeah, just pretty territorial, third line. And then of course, this is when white approach. Normally you would think nowadays it's gonna be like this one or a kick, right?
Right. So before the computer, the AI shows up are some newer variations of Josekis. Most of people like to play a higher approach instead of a lower approach.
Oh yeah, this one I've seen a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this Joseki is one of the most classic Joseki, either Tiger's Mouth or Connects.
Okay.
And then extend on the side. And then since there's an invasion move here, then white needs to another move to protect the weakness here. Right? If you play the Tiger's Mouth, then you can play a further extension, but still you need another move to jump out. So this is one of the most classic Josekis.
Yeah.
In the long time ago, before AI.
Before the apocalypse in 2016.
Yeah. Okay. So nowadays, since AI taught us a lot of newer variations, so people started playing the lower approach because one of the explanation is nowadays people focus on territory more than influence. So when we play, the biggest difference between the high approach and the low approach is when we play a high approach, we'll focus on the center. So we give up the corner, the territory in the corner, and then we extend on the side, and we expand it to the center.
So it was a trade-off, right? So you had to give
Yeah.
away something.
Right. But nowadays, I think the AI cares about the territory very much as well. So that's why he or she likes to play the lower approach more than.
I think it's a she, right? Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the.
Sure. Actually, yeah, this is a pretty old school response, I must say. We call this the Shusaku's diagonal. I think there was a pretty famous Go player, before. This is, of course, before our time. I was born in '98, so. But yeah, like he played this move a lot. His name was Honimbo Shusaku.
I think in Hikaru no Go,
Yeah,
they introduced this player in the
Right.
Hikaru no Go.
Which, I mean, that was what the original person, right?
Right.
Sai was based on. So yeah, like Shusaku was one of the strongest players in his time, and I think he played this a lot in his kifus or in his matches, right? There was like a period of time where he played like 19 games in a row, right? And then he just didn't lose any games.
Wow.
So yeah, there's even right now a museum today in Japan in his honor.
Yeah,
even went
I
there.
saw that.
Yeah, so like this is pretty standard, in the Go books, right? You just play like a calm sort of response to it. People say that there's never anything wrong with this diagonal, right?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this variation of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Joseki. It's just
Right.
some people think this is a little bit slow. That's it. But slow, it doesn't mean bad.
Right.
It's just focus on the corner and expand on the side. Maybe a little bit slower, but
Yeah.
it's still a very strong shape.
Right. Well, yeah, for sure. I think people nowadays do like the wide gaps, right? That's why we prefer like those two, for example, the two-space high sort of enclosures. So the large gaps between the stones, so to speak. But yeah, like this one's super solid, right? The shape looks impeccable. And for example, if like a small
Knight
knight,
move.
right? And then you could like have some like invasion points here and there. But like this one is just, you can't do anything.
You don't have to
that.
worry about it, anything. Yeah. Okay. So what did White play?
Oh yeah,
the
White just
three-space
okay, three-space jump.
extension?
Yeah, it's pretty modern, I think, so far. Jeremy has really demonstrated that he's up to date when it comes to these. But then, yeah, like we are seeing a new, should I say,
So
an
now
old
it is
Joseki.
right. So now it is we don't see a lot of approach anymore to the
Yeah,
start
yeah.
points. People just like to jump to the 3-3 invasion directly.
I think we've seen this way too much already.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe Marx thinks that he's a board one. So let's do something different.
Let's try something new.
yeah, something new.
Something new now for now. Okay, and then White played a knight's move here.
Yeah. So and normally, I mean, there's also some like pretty new variations, right? I mean, like this corner approach is not completely out of the equation. Like we still see that in like modern day games, right? You would, well, of course, you would sometimes approach ones and then play the 3-3 or. I think there's also like one move like this, right? The attachment. That's also.
Yeah, one of the AI Josekis after approach, and then White
Yeah,
Hane and the Black double Hane in the corner, and White Altaris connects.
Yeah, I think we actually saw this in Ryan's game yesterday. He was playing this one, right? And extend.
And the White extended.
Push up.
Push up, yeah. So actually, Black has two options. One of the options is push up and expand the influence on the side, or if you are like more balanced style, then you can just extend on the side
play
directly.
simply.
Yeah, so that you can avoid the invasion on the side.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think both ways work in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Black will get a nice area if you can build on that. So yeah, that's of course one of the options we explored yesterday in Ryan's game. We got like a pretty complicated, just like here. So if you want to revisit that, you can of course go back to our commentaries, which are, by the way, they will be posted on YouTube. So you can definitely come back to all these valuable lessons brought to you by our fellow professional commentators here. So yeah, anyway, in the game, it was I don't think I anticipated this, but we got back to our roots, which is like the first day we learned the word Joseki.
Right.
And what is like the first Joseki that comes to mind? It's gonna be this one, right?
Right. The simplest Joseki knight's move to the corner.
So what did we say when we learned Joseki? It's like a pattern, right? So you take something, right, and then like after the sequence, like both of you find the situation to be okay, right? So it's kind of like in old times, Black would ask a question, right? I'm coming to the corner. Do you want me to just take away the whole corner, or do you want to keep part of it, right? And white says, oh, actually, you kind of want this corner. So black says, all right, well, I got a share of that, and now I'm just
And black
gonna
needs to
back
move.
off,
Yeah, to settle that group.
settle down. Right? Yeah, so I mean, this is like, pretty perfect opening for both players so far.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
So now the opening is getting very complicated and in a fight very quickly, but
This is like a breath of fresh air in the war zone. So yeah, so far actually no third invasions, especially after this one. White just defends. So we're looking at a very calm, I think easy to understand Fuseki, maybe even for our viewers, right? So just black and white each take 2 corners, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So black takes a big point. And then white just jumps out, defends everything. And then black just calmly kind of expanding this area, I assume.
and a white capped on the top.
Okay.
And black knights move.
So I guess this is like a follow-up after. So this is after white didn't respond, right? Because if white could have fixed, but since white didn't do that, black's gonna try to punish.
Yeah, so I can understand why white doesn't want to play this move, because if we look at this variation, take this stone back, and then if we played this move directly, we still can't fix the weakness right here. But then after we made this exchange move on the board, as we can see, black has more advantage. Because this move actually doesn't do anything on the board.
It's kind of like redundant, right?
Yeah, it's not that efficient.
I mean, like this shape is kind of nice. It's like you build a little castle, right?
Right.
On the
So
side.
this is kind of, I would say this is one of the best shapes in the opening. I don't know why Jeremy chose to play the one space jump.
Well, he's feisty. He wants to.
Oh,
this
is his style?
like a fighting spirit,
Yeah.
Well,
And the one space jump is good. It's just to depend on the player's style.
Sure. I mean, he's saying that you're taking this, I'm taking that.
Right.
So it's
a
always
trade-off.
All right. Well, I guess Mark is gonna follow up with that, and then we'll see how he deals with it in the local
Did
position.
White make the exchange
Yeah, he
first?
attached.
Okay.
And then I think, oh wow, he's attaching here, cutting black apart. Okay. So we're seeing this extension.
There's gonna be a Liberty fight.
Yeah. Who's gonna win this actually?
What do you think?
Well,
Pop quiz for you.
I was not prepared for this. Still pretty early in the morning. But I would guess that white would, first of all, of course, he needs to defend, right, against this weakness.
There's a cutting point right here.
Yeah. So if you don't do anything, right, black's just gonna like Atari and then
And push out.
yeah, push out.
And
Maybe
I
even-
think the push will work. The
it should
ladder
work.
works. Even though the ladder doesn't work, you can come back to connect and connect it underneath. So white definitely needs to.
So we don't want that for white,
Right.
because otherwise he's gonna be split apart.
Right. So white definitely need to fix the weakness here. And now it's black's turn. So what do you think?
Well, he has 3 liberties, right? This is how we learned. And when we talk about like liberty races or semi-ice in Japanese, we would look at how many kind of liberties or the 3 adjacent intersections each of the groups has, right? So this is, I mean, it's like 2 entrenched armies, right? And you just try to compare like with who has more ammunition or food or oxygen, so to speak. So in this case, like literally white has more oxygen, right?
Right.
Because
So black.
1, 2, 3, 4 at least. So no matter what, that's like impossible to deny. So white has at least like 4 liberties, right? So black has 3, and I guess white will be fine here, right?
Yes, white is winning by 1 liberty. But the purpose of this invasion is actually just sacrifice the 2 stones on the side and then squeeze white, and so that a black can get the corner.
Yeah.
So I think if I were white, I would probably not be happy with this variation, just to kill these 2 stones. As you can see, black can, later on, these are all the sentes for black.
Yeah, he even takes that one.
Right. And then the corner is very solid, and even the side, because now I'm creating a very strong wall.
Yeah,
and
that
then,
looks amazing shape
Yeah.
for black.
Yeah. So I think black is having an advantage in this corner, in this variation.
Yeah, well, you're not far off from the actual game. Black didn't make the Atari exchange, but he did make
Right.
the
He can do
Atari.
it later.
Yeah.
These are the code thread you want to save for the later game.
Yeah, so I guess Black got like a nice Sentai there, right? And then he can really expand on this. Of course, like White could have maybe earlier reduced somewhere here. Like that's one of the things people didn't like about the basic Joseki, right? Because then you can really be pressed super low. But like now Black has another move, so he's gonna, you can see the bottom side quickly expanding. I think even for people who don't know what Go is, right? You get a feeling that like this is becoming like a camp, for Black soldiers. They could really, make a lot of points there. So
I want to go back to talk about the attach here, since we talk about when Black is leading in this corner,
Yeah.
Black is having an advantage. So there's something wrong with one of the moves.
yeah, I think probably. I mean, it's like something happened here, right? So
I don't think attach on the top is a good move.
okay. Is there like any other option where I can?
So if Wei really wants to live in the corner, then Wei can use the tiger's mouth. And the tiger's mouth will help this group to get more eye space in the corner. So Black now needs to connect.
Sure.
And then Wei can use the attachment move on the bottom to connect.
Oh, is that working?
I think so. So if Black
Yeah, I'm gonna play this out. So just Atari, right? And White's gonna Atari here.
Yeah, and connect,
Yeah.
cut. No, that's not
Well,
working.
actually, it almost worked, right? Because I think you're, because there's some cutting points here, right?
Right. No, the outside is not that important. So if I use the Atari on the bottom, then Black can reduce the liberty on the outside.
Yeah.
If I block here, Black goes here, and White goes here, and Black can
Oh, then it's like actually,
Atari.
yeah.
Yeah,
Black's
one
actually
liberty
faster than one
ahead.
liberty.
But even this variation would be better than the actual game because
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because the White has more stones on the side. Oh no, maybe not. So in the actual game, White killed the 2 stones, but in this variation,
Yeah.
no, maybe not. Okay, so let me go back and sorry about my reading. See, doing a life and death is very important. I stopped practicing my life and death, so that's why. Even happened to pros. Okay, all right. So if White really want to connect, White can use the attach on the top
Yeah.
and attach on the bottom. So now it
Okay,
works.
that's one
I
of the
tested
ways,
it. I'm
right?
sure this time.
Yeah.
So if Black Kahane is on the top and White can Atari on the bottom
Right.
and pull the stone back.
I see.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is stone just captured, right? So
So there's no way
Yeah.
for Black to pull the stone back now. All right.
All right.
But I still don't think it's a good time to save the stone since at the beginning, White already decided to do the trade-off.
Yeah.
Right? So it will be better for White to focus on the side over here. So let's compare these 2 sides. Just by looking at it, the size of the territory are very similar. If I give up the corner and get the side over here,
Sure.
the size of the territory is very similar.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a 4x4 square almost.
Right. So in the actual game, the reason why I think White is not that good is because we killed this area and we give up the corner, and now Black can still have a Sentai. So later on, Black can still fix the weakness here. So that means Black gets 2 sides, 1 corner and 1 side, and White only gets a small area here.
Yeah.
That's why that's not a very good situation for White.
I mean, yeah, that looks like Black's gonna have his hands on everything, right? He even come back to that and fix the top right side. I mean, so in the game, of course, like White also got some points, but I guess like Black must have gotten a good deal, right? We can actually, this might actually affect what happens later on in the game, because Black is actually building a pretty big area as an actual.
White played here first.
Oh yeah.
I know. Black
then
goes here,
attach.
attach.
Right.
Okay.
And then attach here, cut.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Mark is very happy with this variation.
Actually, you
Yeah,
never know,
he-
because like he doesn't look like overly like ecstatic when he plays. It's like a calm.
He
kind of
loves territory. He loves territory. That at least this is a mark that I know before 2014 or a bit before 2015 because
Right.
I played a lot of fast games in 2014
At the New York Congress, right? Was it?
at New Year Ago Congress. Yeah, every Congress. Yeah, I think he went to 2015 Congress.
Yeah,
in
he was there in
Minnesota.
St.
Yeah,
Paul,
so
yeah.
then he stopped 2016. And then so we played
Actually,
a lot of
I
games.
I think he was. Yeah, he's not there. He was not in Boston. Yeah, that year.
2016 he was
Right.
not.
So he's been missing for a couple of years now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. In any case, I mean, he's doing pretty well. It seems early on in the match. We can actually take a look later. When we come back to this game about what they're doing in the mid game. We have some time. We can definitely just sit back and chill out a little bit. The moves are still being relayed to the OGS Go server, of course. You can definitely check out the games there in real time. We're a few moves behind. I think we're gonna be okay, right? We can just catch up to that pretty quickly as we like. So we're gonna be back pretty soon with the commentary. So thank you for watching the first mini sort of session so far. Hopefully you'll stick around with us with more from round 1, board 1 of the US Masters.
And welcome back. This is the board 1, round 1 game. Things are about to get really interesting. Jeremy has just intrepidly dived into the Moyo. That's the big area that Mark is hoping to make into territory. So we're going to get back to that, the commentary, and find out more about how that goes. But first, I grabbed Andrew Hall. Andrew is the tournament director for the U.S. Open. I was just up watching the game that you're watching in person. It's very quiet up there. There's just a few people in that room. Andrew, on the other hand, oversees the U.S. Open, which is a whole other situation. It is awesome. First of all, you say awesome, an awesome job.
I said also quiet.
Also quiet. It is not compared to the. I mean,
You
you
what
have
you
how
can.
many people in that room?
280?
Yeah, it is just the sound of the Stones alone of that many games is, and I love it. It's a great sound. But it's a really, just to run that, and I know you had you always your first day things with the, all of that.
Today was a little interesting.
Yeah,
but
but
we'll make it through.
tell me about, to run, this is our biggest tournament of the year.
Yes, it is. I think it's the biggest tournament in the Americas.
Yes, yeah, a lot of folks, everything from, I think I saw 27, 28 Q,
Yep, we got
which
20
is
Qs.
pretty much beginners.
Yep.
I heard some guy in the coffee shop this morning saying, yeah, I just learned the rules, and he's on the boards today.
Absolutely, that's great.
Right on up to our
Yeah.
top levels.
Yeah, we got 6 dons playing in the Open too. So
Very cool, very cool. What's your favorite part of running this madness?
honestly, people are really happy, and that makes me really happy. And it's for everybody who yells at you, there's 50 people who are thanking you or smiling at you, and that really, it's cheesy, but it makes it worth it.
You like
I like playing rated games, but I like helping other people play rated games maybe more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just a reminder that we are, the game that you're watching is the round 1, board 1. This is the first of what will be 7 rounds in the Masters tournament. So we have our 2 major tournaments. Rated tournaments are our U.S. Masters, which I believe, Stephen, we are now up to 16 players. Is that correct? 17 players. All right, we added a few at the last minute. We'll talk more about that in our next break.
That's directed by Josh Lee, not me.
That's right. That's a different tournament director, has its own tournament director, has its own room down the hall, and then our other big and literally physically big. I was here yesterday morning with the Congress director, Dave Weimer, and we were actually trying to figure out the physics of how we were going to get all of those boards into...
Yeah, I think it's still a slightly open problem. We have some ideas to improve for tomorrow.
Oh, good. You're going to make the room hall bigger?
I think we are going to take the overflow from the youth and slide it back up so our top boards will be in the master's room, but we'll figure it out.
Yes. So it's pretty cool. So we'll be coming back to the commentary on the round 1, board 1 game, which, as I said, is getting really interesting. I love, and I go around during the Open actually to sort of watch. I like to check in on some old friends and just sort of see how things are going. And when I see a move like that, where somebody's just dives right in. Sort of, go ahead, let you make that big moyo, create that big area, and then here I go into it. Then things are gonna, because it's not always easy to handle.
No, that's how I like to play. So.
All right. Well, Andrew, great job on the tournament.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's going to be smooth as silk sailing.
Sure.
Just 20 seconds. People may have noticed. These are not just your normal ink sleeves here. These are Go themed. Do you want to just give us
this one is.
That's a normal.
No, this is the Go
one.
That's
a regular one.
Yeah.
Give us the quick story on the Go themed one.
Oh yeah, sure. So the concept is loosely based on a quote that I think is loosely attributed to a chess grandmaster, Edward Lasker, I want to say.
Edward Lasker, yes.
And the quote is something like, "If there is intelligent life elsewhere in the universe, surely they play Go." And so the conceit here is the cosmic intelligence, as represented by a galaxy, which is also a Go stone, shooting out the knowledge of Go in the form of meteors, which are also Go stones, into a stellar Go board, which is demonstrating before 2 alien monks learning Go on some alien precipice.
I just love it. It makes me happy every time I see it.
Actually, the inspiration for the Boston Go Congress logo, which was in turn also designed by my tattoo artist.
Great stuff. Just total commitment there.
Absolutely, it's a lifetime.
Everybody knows, Andrew knows that this is actually. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
work with the Congress. Absolutely. All right, we're going to get back to the exciting game between Mark Lee and, of course, I've just blanked on it. Here we go. Jeremy Chiu, of course. I've known Jeremy since he was like 6, I think, something like that. And here he is, 6 down. All right, back to our commentators. Of course, we got Stephanie Yi, who we last saw yesterday on the board, and Stephen Hu. Back to you guys.
All right, Chris, thank you for the introduction. Yeah, welcome back to the commentary, everyone. Really exciting game going on board 1 of round 1 US Masters. Of course, great talk by Andrew. We used to always joke about his tattoo, like, hey, you got the wrong Kobayashi just sticking up there. That's always funny. But yeah, anyway, we have more stuff coming up. So yeah, Stephanie, thank you for being here once again.
My pleasure.
Yeah, actually, there has been more stuff going on. There wasn't Big Moyo, but now we actually do have an invasion. So I guess we'll just fast forward to that and check out what actually goes on in the match. So we'll just dive in. Of course, if you want to follow this game in real time, just remember that you can also go on OGS Online Go server to check out the games. In actual progress, I believe we are about like 30 moves behind, but we'll get there. So anyway, yeah, it looks like Black's really, expanding the bottom, and he's played some pretty aggressive kind of expansion moves.
And I think that's actually the only way Black can do on the board, since this is the main area, main territory on the board.
Yeah, he's kind of put all his eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Right. And the walls on the right side is getting stronger and thicker.
Yeah.
And now we have to, Mark Lee has to focus on expanding the territory. No, transfer the potential into our territory now.
Now, you said that Mark is a pretty territorial player, right? But actually, in this game, you sometimes you would say that like the Moyo strategy is almost an opposite of like just cash first strategy, right? Which is you just take points like in this corner, in this corner, in this corner, and then you have like 30 points of more than your opponent, and then you just try to like dive into the Moyo. Hopefully you don't get so much, right? And then you just can just win in terms of points. So yeah, this is actually kind of a different Mark Lee we're seeing. Huh?
It's kind of the opposite of his style.
Yeah.
But it happens in a lot of games. If your opponent is also a territorial style, then you kind of forced to change your style in this game.
Right.
So as we can see, White is pretty much a territorial style as well. All the moves are on the third line, which is a lower line, focused on more territory.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 moves over here on the higher line. So in this situation, Black has to change his strategy.
Okay. So to up his game, right? To try like threaten to make a big area and then maybe knock White out of the rhythm, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what?
Sure. We can go ahead and see what's actually going on there. Just keep in mind that you can actually ask us any questions if you do have any questions that about the actual game or about, for example, Stephanie's epic victory yesterday. I'm pretty sure he's pretty happy to talk about it. And yeah, just feel free to send us any questions. We'll try to answer them. All right, so yeah, Black's actually really building a large area, and White says, "Oh, actually, I can just dive in anyway." So I
Yeah,
guess we're
so
gonna do
I
that.
disagree with you totally. This is not
Uh-huh.
your territory. I'm gonna invade.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's one of the best options. Usually, when you want to reduce your opponent's moyo, you like to play the shoulder head.
Right, that's like
Right.
the prime AlphaGo move we will talk about.
Right, but in this situation, that would be too deep. That's kind of a 500 meters under the water. That would be too much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we play the shoulder head, we will definitely get capped on the top. And now you can see all the top line is already enclosed. It's very hard for White to escape.
Well, we know that if White invades so deeply, then Black's not gonna let him get out of it super easily, right? Because
Right.
this will be way too passive if Black just pushes on the third line, right? Then we would see actually this area being reduced to a matter of like 2 by 10, like this area here. So of course Black's not happy with that because he invested so many moves, right? So he's gotta like attack, right? And then as you said, right, it seems
It's
like
very-
White's kind of in trouble.
Yeah, it's hard. And plus, there's some centes on the top. So Mark didn't make this exchange. He's
That's right. Yeah, he
saving
saved
the cente on the area here. So this is also cente. And I think that this is also cente as well. So if we can see this exchange move has made on the board,
Yeah.
and this line is almost closed.
Right.
Right.
I mean, by the way, there's like this block is gonna be Sentai, right? At some
Right.
point, so there's no problem there.
Right. So there's no IG at all
Yeah,
for Black. Okay, so in the actual game, so Jeremy played one line higher than the shoulder head.
But I mean, Black is still capped, right? Did he cap in the game? We can see. He did cap. Okay, so that just as what I thought. I guess at this point, right? Still, if you play this too passively, which I've actually seen in some amateur games, right? Then this is gonna be too little, right? 'Cause then
Right.
these two stones will not be so useful as they once
Yeah,
were.
so this move only secured this area because since this area already settled, so
Yeah.
I already have these points. So if I play the knight's move here, I only make like around 20 points, 12 here, around 20 points. So it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, so I guess the key point is actually, if Black defends and gets more points, that's actually, I mean, like White going in doesn't affect the security of any of these groups, right? So Black's already got like a 2-space jump, so that he's pretty safe down there. And then, this is of course one of the strongest Black shape currently on the board. So of course, even if White goes in, then he would lose like a small pocket of points, but he's actually not concerned. So it's better to probably just attack.
Right. Okay. All right, cap on the top.
Yeah, and then White's peeping.
It's a cente,
Yeah,
so
that's
Black
cente,
needs
so-
to connect.
And White's
attach.
Yeah, White's attaching. We call this like something called sabaki, right? In Go terms, we would say this is the art of trying to maneuver, right? Just trying to move around in a
Make-
small area to make shape.
To make a good shape, yes. Okay, so usually when you're in a very risky situation, you want to attach some stones in order to get some help. So this is one of the perfect example.
Right.
So it's very hard to make eye space with only 2 moves.
Yeah.
But if you can attack the stone a little bit and force Black to hane on the bottom and use some centes, and so that you can create a tiger's mouth, and then it will be easier for White to make eye.
Right. So we need 2 eyes, right? We say this in the Go basics. So basically 2 uninvadable points, right? So
Right.
eyes are kind of, when you have 2 of them, then your opponent cannot take you off the board, right? Because then they have to play illegal moves to get there. So White's looking for shapes to build the eye, right? Because right now it's not so
Right.
obvious.
Right. So it only has the 2 stones. So White needs to work on the shapes now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Black's gonna Hane, right? And then
Hane on the bottom first.
yeah, and then White.
Yeah. So
catches.
I always tell my beginner students, in order to make eye, the first step is to make a tiger's mouth. So what is a tiger's mouth? Tiger's mouth is 2 diagonal or kosumi.
Yeah.
Connected together. That's a tiger's mouth. When we have the tiger's mouth first, and then we can only add another stone to make eye.
Right.
So yeah, that's just the very basic knowledge of Go.
Sure.
If we're in danger and try to make the first step is try to make a
Yeah.
tiger's mouth, and then you can very easily to make an eye.
Yeah, it looks like a I don't know, Venus flytrap. You can never put your finger in there, otherwise you might get captured. Right. So,
Right.
So the name comes from the fact that black cannot throw a stone in there, otherwise it's going to get
Captured.
devoured.
Yeah, that's correct.
so-
Okay, so white attached first, and then black honey on the top, and white extend.
Yeah, and then okay, looks like black's going to take the shape point away, right? Oh, he's peeping. Makes sense. Yeah, so I guess black's not letting white go so easily, right? He's gonna get something out of this attack. I think oftentimes we've seen some pretty attacking players. You know, over the years when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Takemiya Masaki, right? It's like he was the textbook example, or well, sometimes he's unconventional, but yeah, he's the prime example of Moyo-based strategy games, right? Because he would really build like large frameworks. But then the thing I realized is you need like a lot of good fighting power, right? So otherwise, if your opponent just comes in, takes away all the stuff, and runs away, and then you're left with nothing because they would have taken
And
more
here,
points.
fighting skills comes, and life and death, and reading skills.
Yeah,
I made a mistake here since I didn't practice a lot of life and death. So the reading skills is very important thing.
Well, you're busy with the YouTube, so we'll give you a pass.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
So anyway, this is gonna be quite complicated. So it is actually I think both players took quite some time in this part of the match. I think when we left off for a break, actually there weren't so many moves going on the board. Actually, though, now there's more. So maybe we should catch up. So anyway, White's trying to make shape here. So he's played Atari, and then Black just takes.
And
Atari, and then, so probably he's like threatening this push, right? He can like cut his stone off, so Black says no. And then we had the first ko, and we got pretty excited. We thought, oh, this is gonna be a pretty epic ko. Actually, it ended pretty quickly though.
I'm actually thinking, why is connecting not good?
Oh, so like, what if Black just connects here?
Right. Seems the push doesn't work for white. And if white pulls the stone, and then black can capture it here, so there's still a weakness on the top.
Yeah.
But I can't understand the ko for. I can't understand why Mark didn't connect the ko here. It's because there's some ko threat. Maybe he's too greedy, and he's trying to kill everything.
Well, he's thinking like, I got some stuff here, right? That's pretty big. And then I mean, like group is kind of safe anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Because in the game, like White just right away, right? They didn't answer any of the ko threats. Just
This is a very risky move. If White wins this ko, and this entire group is already alive. But if we connect here, it seems it's hard to kill this entire group, but still we're in attacking. So I'm still having the control of this fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what happened in this game. So they must read all the ko threat already, otherwise they won't start the ko.
Right.
All right, so where's the ko threat Black played?
Oh, he bought here, which is what we saw.
Okay.
So he's threatening
Black
to
is
capture
here.
the 3 stones, obviously. It would be pretty big point-wise, but yeah, White just connects, says, I don't care. And this is, we already mentioned yesterday, right? When you can actually cancel a ko, because there's a rule that says you cannot repeat the board position all the time, so the opponent will have to find something that's actually, well, they think you would have to respond, but then you always have the right to ignore it and just connect up. So yeah, it looks like Black's pulled back, and then White's Atari. So I'm assuming this is alive.
Yeah,
right?
it is alive.
Looks...
it's not 100% alive yet, but it's just even harder to kill.
Sure.
So there's the stone in Atari, and then if Black connects here, White now can just make Tiger's Mouth either way.
Yeah.
Maybe here, and there are more eye space on the bottom as well.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to kill stuff, right?
It is.
You have to deny eye shapes everywhere, and then I mean, not only that, White already has good shape.
Yeah.
So how can you kill your opponent when they already have a good shape?
Since
right?
you brought this up, I have a very good advice for all of you guys.
Okay.
So Go is not about destroying. I see a lot of, especially for beginner players, they like to block.
Yeah.
And I see a very common shape like this. For example, there are 2 stones right here and 1 stone on the right side. And White is supposed to protect the weak stones first.
Yeah.
But this happened lot of times.
Yeah.
The Go is not about destroying. It's about
Yeah.
building. If we have enough territory,
Yeah.
fight it is actually not necessary. So try to avoid to attack or kill all the time. Fix our own weakness and get stronger
Sure.
first is always important.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty long game, right? So it's
Right.
usually, I mean, it's pretty hard. You cannot, go into the match thinking, right, I'm gonna knock them out in the first 50 moves, right? It usually doesn't happen. It could happen if they misread like a ladder or something, but most of the times you have to, like, of course, fix your own shape first, or make sure that you have no weaknesses to be exploited, and then we see what we can do.
That's also one of the biggest difference between Go and other games. So for most of the other games, that we
Yeah.
have to kill your opponent pieces in order to win.
Right.
But in Go, it's not necessary.
In chess, for example, you have to like checkmate, right?
Right. In other like board games, it's the same thing. We have to capture or we have to kill other pieces in order to get their territory. But in
Right.
Go, it's different. If we have enough, then we don't have to invade to take risk. Right. So the judgment is very important. Whether it's good time to invade or it's a good time just to rip it out, and then we just start the end game.
Yeah,
That's
I
very-
remember you bringing up, the term judgment, right? So that's actually quite important because you need to understand what's going on like, as globally on the board, right? And this is, why we spend so many hours on the metro doing tomegos and trying to like count how many points, right? So this is actually the larger question in Go. How many points are we getting? How many points are we losing, right? And then can we like make a good balance, right? So that's actually the more subtle question in Go always to understand what's going on. So.
Right. Okay. Now let's go back to
So far I think we have a trade. So and we just now we mentioned that
Raise.
White's probably going to be alive, and Black does get what he wants, which is
kill the
kill
three
the two
stones
stones.
inside.
The 3 stones rather. So White jumps out. Okay. Actually there's still something going on here. Like Black needs to live, right? Otherwise he's going to be pretty painful. Like if White blocks, right? Then actually this is like not even 2 eyes yet.
As a pyramid 4 is that shape. So
You said it's a pyramid 4?
yeah, it's pyramid
okay.
4.
So we learned farmer's hat from Yin Yang. Now we learned a pyramid.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is so great.
So we have a 12, the basic shapes of life and death. This is one of the 12 shapes.
Oh, you mean this one, right? You mean this
pyramid.
one?
Yeah. So
yeah.
the correct pyramid 4 is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and the vital point is in the center.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
kind of pyramid 4. It
Right.
can be considered as a pyramid.
So the
4.
same as the farmer's hat from yesterday. So anyway, in any case, Black needs to live. Otherwise, if he dies, that's not going to be a good
This is
ending
a-
to the story.
Yeah,
So
vital point for both black and white shapes here. And white blocked.
White's going to block, and Black links up. So of course, important to connect your stones always. And then White cuts over here. And Black turns. That's a pretty big move. So maybe threatening something going on here. And then White would just play a Sente. Black comes back. White just makes sure that he lives. So Pane, connect. So I think now both sides are probably alive, right? Because Black can make a nice shape if he needs to. How are we doing? Like how's the
I was thinking
board?
about why did he make that exchange move? That's a double sente right here. Okay. I was thinking. I was thinking if White is able to play this move, that would be better. But it seems it doesn't work. And Black is going to try here. Yeah. So there's a cutting point on the other side.
Okay.
So White has to make this exchange to get the additional points. Okay.
Well, maybe he's
That
thinking
makes
like,
sense.
in the future, like he can still peep in there, right? So there's like one of the threats he still has left. So Black still needs, like, if this eye ship gets taken away, then he has like one more move he has to play there.
Yeah. So I think now Black has to think doing something over here. So otherwise, killing the 3 stones will be just too small. It's only like 10 to 15 points. Yeah. So Black definitely needs to pull this stone out and try to attack both groups.
Would you say he gained or lost in that whole fight?
Locally, I think Black lost. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because let's compare these two
Okay.
two areas here. Killing these 3 stones only helped black get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only around 10 points, and took around 5 points away from white. So the total value of killing the 3 stones is only around 15 points. But let's look at this area. Everything here, the territory and potential is gone.
That's true. I mean, like we're looking at a pretty big area early on, right? And
Right.
then we're thinking, well, this is gonna be like 40 points here,
Yeah.
but it looks like White's taking that away. So
And
Black gained something there, but he lost a lot.
Right, and also the 2 space extension now is got a little bit pushed down. It's only 5 points on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not a completely alive shape yet. So black definitely lost a lot of things, a lot of points on the bottom area.
Yeah, like also White got in here, right? So like if Black cannot make a good result in the top
Yeah.
right, then he's actually gonna be behind on points. Right? It's like
so
White has-
so that's why I'm saying black has to do something aggressively in this area
Well, we
to
always
get
welcome
something
that.
back.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. White's attached, and then Black Harness. Yeah, White's cut. Jeremy not backing down whatsoever. So yeah, it looks like there's gonna be quite some agi, right? Black definitely cannot kill everything White has here. Oh wow, they even made a trade-off there. So White's actually played Atari, and then
Block.
push through, extend once more, and then yeah,
2 space extension.
White's got a top, and then oh wow. So yeah, like once again we're seeing one more trade-off. Black got the corner, but actually White did slice through the original enclosure stone, and he's got more stuff on there. So, and yeah, like this felt like pretty good for White, right?
Yeah, I think so. White just get rid of the weak stones here and get a trade on the side and give the corner to black.
Yeah.
And there are around 20 points in the corner. So who has a sente now? Black has a sente, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, black has a sente. And then this corner,
So we're talking about
20 points.
okay.
And then 40 points, 45 points on the board for black. And white has,
So White needs at least kind of 40-ish, right? Black is 45 because we're looking at an AGA rule set with 7.5 Komi.
so adding them together to 2 groups here, they're around 12 points, 12-ish, and
Yeah.
then 10 points, 15 points in the corner. So that's around 25, around 10 points right there, 35 points on the board for white. And then black has a sente. So it's still a pretty close game.
Okay, still a lot to be contested, right? Well, we do have one question from chat I want to get to before we move further. Can we say Black gained on the left as he enclosed White? Also, we're talking about this area because Black actually prevented White from like linking up here.
Yeah, so locally, black is in a very good position. But if we consider the half the board as a whole entire fight, killing the 3 stones and let white live in the center and blocked on the side, left side, and overall,
Yeah.
it's still not big enough for black.
I mean, the other thing is, speaking on the left side, I'm seeing one more exchange on the board. Black actually Atari here, which I thought was strange because I mean, like this is already captured, right? So White like has a chance to nuke him once again, and he took a big move on the side on the left now. So I mean, this is what we were talking about earlier, right? Because if White takes away the eye space here, then actually Black needs one more move to live. Otherwise, if White like peeps, then actually this doesn't have 2 eyes. It's like an extended farmer's hat.
Right. So this entire group is not completely alive.
Right.
It's hard to kill. It's not going to be dead group in a couple moves, but still there's the agi and a weakness here.
Yeah, I mean, also like it's a pretty big move on the left side as well, right? Even just by points value.
Yeah, I doubt this move. It's too slow.
Yeah,
Even later on for the later game, black could kill the 3 stones on the side. It's still small. Let's just count it here. Black needs to add another move to kill it. That's 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, around 15 points.
Yeah, there's actually even some fishy stuff going on there, right? Because
Right,
even
there's
if you
some-
connect,
right.
you can like, cut, but then
There's
you
a
can
cut
like
here.
attach.
Let's just assume this group is dead, but by killing this group, Black has spent 2 moves. So
Yeah.
that means each move, the value of each move is only 7.5 points. It's pretty small in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, like even like that, White can still Tanuki, right? White can still play away.
And plus, there's some Ajis on the side. So Black is not even able to kill this. So this is just, I wonder why he played this move.
I mean, like sometimes you can think about what would happen if White got that move, right? But probably White's not gonna play there because there's some pretty big areas that are still wide open. Like White would want to play something on the left side or the top. So.
Yeah, so if Black
Yeah.
really wanted Atari here, the correct order should be Atari here first before killing the 3 stones.
Yeah, because like that would actually matter, right? Because if White, I mean, okay, let's say this stone's not here, right? And then that would actually matter because then White like has to connect. Otherwise, like Black can, capture and even threaten this, and then this is gonna be all dead. So the thing is that we have 2. Well, actually, we have 2 more moves, not just 1, but 2 more moves. So Black already did that. So regardless of the life and death of this single stone, like White's gonna be captured anyway.
Right. So of course, White won't save this stone since this is already useless stone on the board. Yeah.
Oh no. Is that the first speed bump on the Autobahn we're seeing? Because like this is really big, right? So in the game we can of course go a little bit further. We see that Black trying to fight it, but Black just attaches and White's gonna Hane.
So as we counted down the board earlier, I said White has around 35 points on the board without Komi.
Yeah.
And Black has around 40 points, but I didn't count the potential on the side yet. So I would say White now is leading the board.
Oh my god.
And then Black played another slow move.
Yeah. I mean, like this is he has momentum here, right? So like actually White's gonna pretty much take the driver's seat in this kind of battle because like Black is gonna have that in mind. He knows that he needs to move to live there. And of course, if you play a move like that early on in the game, it's not gonna be good, right? Because then you're just filling your own territory. So you'd rather not do that.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, like Black extends and then White just pushes up. Yeah, that looks so big now. So all of a sudden, it's looking pretty good for Jeremy, I have to say. He just fixes, make sure that
there's
no shape
small
trouble.
Aji here.
Yeah, you can even, there's
cut.
not even a ladder.
So it's a good move. That's a
Yeah,
good
and
move.
then so he cuts. Okay, and then connect with Vicente. White's gonna link up. So yeah, like that all became territory. So Black has to do something, which now he's trying to do.
Extend.
Come out. Yeah, extend, push, and then pull back. And nice move over here, and then White's gonna peep, which is the shape point, because we say that this is like a table shape, right? So if Black can get that, that's like pretty good. So White's gonna take that away. And yeah, Black jumps down. So yeah, all of a sudden we're looking at a very, very complicated game, right? Of course, it has to be said, like this group is alive, so probably there's no trouble there because like Black can make one eye, and then this is there, right?
Right. But it will be very hard for Black to win this game starting from now because
my God.
first the territory on the board is very close, 35 versus 40.
Right.
With Komi, so it's a very close game. Plus, White now is going to attack the 3 stones while connect on the bottom and secure the territory on the top.
Yeah.
Top area here. And then after White secured the territory on the top, White will get additional 10 points. So that means White will have around 45 points. Black will still have a 40.
Oh, well then White would actually surpass Black in terms of the points on the board, right?
And plus, White has a connecting move here and potential 10 points as well. So it will be very tough game for Black. Sorry.
I mean, just like not to mention that White doesn't have many weak shapes now, right? Like this is all connected, right? That's alive, like that's very alive, and then this is so close to like a strong group, so there's probably not gonna be no trouble, right? I mean, like White can even defend this if he wants to, right? And then like this is pretty solid. So yeah, like black actually has a target. We often say that when you have a target like that, then your opponent can really, try to force you into like some pretty small areas, maybe like then you have to connect to like in dame, right? And then they wash them and make all the points. So yeah, this is taking a really dramatic turn. I thought Mark was doing like okay in the opening.
In the opening, yes.
I mean, of course, and the phrase Mark Lee, because it's gonna have a difficult game to come back from. That's not a phrase you utter on the US Go Web broadcast a lot because he wins so much, right? But yeah, like certainly at the moment, it looks like Jeremy's taking the lead. We are actually like almost caught up now. Oh, there are a few more moves, so yeah, like Black's gonna jump.
Black focused on the corner area too much. Black spent so many moves in this corner.
Yeah.
Too over concentrated. Many moves are not necessary.
And he still has to live, right? So okay, White's gonna block, and then Black has to fix that still. So okay, what does White do now? White just like play there or something?
I think White will have to. I think connecting here might be too early because the three stones, the Liberty on the top, are very intense, are very short.
Yeah.
And then if Black had it on the top, and now White needs to connect. The Tiger Spell doesn't work. There's a squeeze, so it won't work.
Yeah.
But just killing the two stones and like Black can connect it on top will be too small for now.
Yeah.
So if I were White, I will either Atari the stones on the bottom and secure my corner.
Yeah.
And because when I Atari here, Black needs to extend. Atari won't work.
Oh, that's going to be broken.
Yeah. And then after I make that exchange, I can either extend one more.
Yeah.
And then jump to the center.
There's like so many points for White, right? Like the corner is so big.
So as I counted earlier, there's only 10 points I counted for White, but now it's way more than 10 points.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely wait for the game to develop a little bit. Maybe it's going to change. But yeah, at the moment, like White's definitely in a very good position, right? So props to Jeremy for that. We're going to, of course, take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more stuff on the board with the real commentary. In the meantime, you can check out a live game on OGS. That's where our Board 1 relay. By the way, Dennis Willer is doing an amazing job there in the Strong Players Room. So drop a thank you to Dennis if you get a chance. So we'll be right back with more commentary with Stephanie and One Professional. Stay tuned.
Wow, exciting game. Mark Lee, 75-5, I believe, is his overall record. And looking to be in trouble in this game. We're going to be back with more commentary with Stephanie and Steven. They are even now intently watching this game, as I'm sure you are. That last move by Mark, I can't wait to see what they have to say about it. I like it. It's an AlphaGo kind of a move. That's what I think. That's for my 2 cents. So I'm very happy I was able to grab Paul Barchelon. Paul is the AGA youth coordinator for many years now, I think, right?
I think about 12 years or so.
12 years.
Yeah.
Wow, since you were a youth.
Yeah, right.
So Paul's been working. I mean, Paul and I remember when there were basically almost no kids around.
There were kids when I started coming, but the program was a little smaller. So 2006 was the first year I came. I was AGF Teacher of the Year that year, and Todd Heidenreich had been running the youth room for a while, and it's a very exhausting job. And so as soon as I was there, he was like, "Hey, do you want to take this over? You can get a free trip to Congress."
Please.
Right? And I was like, "Oh, sure." Little did I know. But it's a lot of fun, and it's it's great seeing Jeremy Chiu here. He's one of our kids. Yeah, he's been playing in the Redmonds since he was a small child. Been coming to Congress.
I remember when he was.
Yeah. And part of a lot of the
activities
activities that we do at the AGF, the American Go Foundation, our nonprofit wing, is provide funding to bring kids like Jeremy to Congress. And so it's really gratifying to me to see these young kids growing up and they're being major contenders, and they're, changing the face of Go. So that's kind of exciting for us to be able to see that, in place here. And it's also exciting for me because some of the kids who started out in the youth room, like Justin Ten, who's now co-AGA youth coordinator with me, he's been absolutely terrific. He's taking over running a lot of events, and as a teacher, nothing is more gratifying than that your students grow up and want to teach.
It is really amazing. That's right. And also just to see, again, just in recent years, the real growth of the program. I mean, early years, actually, no kids around, and then a few kids, but it was very unusual to have kids playing. And if they did, frankly, they were pretty weak beginners. And as you say, so we have this whole. We've had actually sort of several crops of them now who have risen up the ranks. Sometimes quite rapidly. I think that's a tribute to teachers like yourself, and there's a whole cadre. We should talk about that because that's another relatively new piece of this whole thing around teachers, to go teachers, which you've also been very involved with. Getting some help from the Japanese, who of course have been doing it a long time. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean,
well, we're sort of, we've been heavily involved with teaching for a while on a number of different things. One of our nice programs is the Teacher of the Year program, which brings somebody to Congress for free. And in my case, it was the very first time I ever came to Congress when I won Teacher of the Year. This year we're honoring Nick Sabicki, and this is perfect because here we are on Twitch, and we wanted to recognize new media and the changes that are going on, that we're reaching larger audiences. And Nick has a terrific channel. If you guys have not seen his videos, they're really worth checking out.
Check out.
Yeah, and he has just a huge amount of reach. A lot of people are seeing those videos, really enjoying them, starting to play Go, becoming involved. So outreach in new media is really important. We've been, for many years we were just focusing on physical teaching in a classroom, or like my own program at Boulder, Colorado. I've been running a library for 15 years in the children's department. But there's a real value in the online teaching that has a bigger reach. So that's a cool thing that's moving on. And we've also got the AJ Teachers Workshop that we've run a number of times, having professionals from China, Korea, and Japan come and help and sort of guide people about how to be teachers. That's something that we really care about, if we can make more teachers.
Let me just reintroduce. Of course, you are watching right now our top board game. This is at the U.S. Go Congress. This is the U.S. Masters Tournament, our premier event with a very small. We have two major tournaments. There's the Masters, and then there's the U.S. Open. We just had Andrew Hall, the TD from the U.S. Open, talk to us a little bit ago. And this is the board one, round one game that you're watching right now. And things are it's getting very exciting. Middle game, I think as Stephanie was saying earlier, it's, Mark looks like he's in trouble. But things can change. Things can change in a heartbeat. Although at this level, it's kind of. I like to play tennis, and once Roger gets a lead, once Roger Federer gets a lead, it's hard to take it away from him. Not that it couldn't happen, but in fact, I was just noticing that Wimbledon's into a fifth set, so that's pretty exciting. So getting a little cross culture here. So we'll be coming back as soon as our commentators feel like there are enough moves to take a look at. I'm getting a thumbs up. All right. Any last words? We've got a lot of folks, and I should mention folks out there watching on Twitch. usgo.org is where you find out more about Go, and I understand that we've got some folks that have already gone and gotten so interested that you've joined the AGA. So thank you for that. We love having folks join, and go find your local Go club. Go to usgo.org. Find your local Go club. Walk in. You will be welcomed. And get you right into the game. So glad you're enjoying that. Any final words on
I just wanted to point out,
the
growth that we've had from when you were talking about in the early days where kids didn't really come so much. Now it's usually a quarter of Congress attendance is under the age of 18. So that's really significant. And, the sort of the running joke is if you sit down for your round in the U.S. Open and your opponent is a small child, just give up right there, right? They're surely going to pass you. We've been saying for a while that trying to get a rank on a young child is sort of like giving a speeding ticket. All you can say is when they whipped by you, they were playing at that level.
But we love it. We absolutely love it. We're excited to see all these young players.
Yeah.
And it's really is all what Go is about.
Absolutely.
Bringing more folks into it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you for all the work that you've done, and keep doing it because we need more folks in there. All right, I'm just watching this, and lots of things going on, so we're going to kick it back to Stephanie and to Stephen for this exciting game.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Welcome back to the commentary. That is, of course, the ongoing game of round one, board one of the 2019 US Go Masters live from Madison, Wisconsin. So, yeah, we have more stuff going on the board. Just as Chris said, things can change. So, you know, it can get pretty dramatic. I think already we're seeing some things change on the board, right, Stephanie?
Why don't we just
Sure.
go back to it?
Yeah. Of course, just a quick reminder, once again, if you want to follow these games in real time, you can check the online Go server at OGS. So we can, of course, we're going to slowly try to catch up and explain to you guys what's actually going on in the mid-game as we enter the most exciting stage, right? So.
Okay, so now it's White's turn, right? Okay, White pincered instead of Atari on the bottom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So actually early on we were saying that like Black is actually in a lot of trouble because you know White's quickly getting up on points, and then yeah, like we have a pretty big target here. So Black's gonna have to do something in order to survive.
Right. Okay. But at the same time, White still need to be aware of the 4 stones on the top. If Black is able to cut through here, the 4 stones are not connected.
Right.
The 4 stones right here.
That's true. So like actually this move, right, it actually cut off the 4 white stones because now if you have Atari, then like Black can just run out. Then that's gonna be an Atari, so Black can just like link up. Right.
So I actually have a question about the move right here, the pincer. Is that worth it to pincer on the? Is it better to pincer or to attack from the bottom or from the center? So every time before any fight starts, we should find the correct direction of any attack, any fight. So if I were White, I will, like, what we discussed before, I would like to secure my corner first, and then I will jump in the center instead of attacking on the bottom because first of all, the territory on the bottom is not that big. After I can make this exchange, I already gained some points in the corner. Plus, if I can push Black to live on the side, and then later on I can use the Sentes in the center here.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a Sente, so you can force Black to like live there, right?
To live underneath, so that now you can see creating a territory in the center is actually much bigger than the territory on the side. So I think that would be, at least I won't choose to attack from the bottom.
Like better direction, right? Because like yeah, like this bottom area, even right now, as you say, like if Black tries to make an extension, he can at most make 1 space jump, right? It's actually that's not so appetizing for Black.
Right.
But yeah, like the center could that looks like it could be some pretty tasty area. You know, you can get like 15, 20 points there.
A lot of points, and then this gap is almost closed yet. And if we're able to close this gap, then we can have everything in the center.
Yeah, that would really be what we say, putting your stones into good use, right? Because then everything becomes part of the moyo.
Yeah, however, there are very strong players. They have their own ideas of each move.
Sure.
I can't say this is a mistake.
Of course, we have to see how it turns out, right?
Right.
All that matters is you get a good result here. But yeah, certainly we're seeing
And a Black turns there, which is a very big move.
So right now, like it probably is pretty big, right, for White to kill the stone. Otherwise, Black can like link up and even threaten something.
Right.
So
if White make the Atari first, now when we compare this exchange move, you will see Black actually have a more advantage. Because if I already have the Atari move here, I won't spend another move on. It's kind of in the middle. I would rather
it's like
Atari
weird.
here or Tanuki. It doesn't actually be that efficient on the board.
because I mean, actually, there's some sort of agi, right? Like Black could Atari and even do this. So like from a points, like purity points point of view, right? You could like even connect, and of course not now. It's not gonna work, but you can like even turn, and then if White like pulls back, you can even make some points, right? Am I?
Right, that's correct.
Okay,
That's still agi of this move.
Yeah.
It's not very good move.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, so White Atari on the bottom, and then since White already have the stone on the side, Black won't play anything over there, and save the agi for the end game.
Yeah.
And now the 4 stones are already cut off, and then Black will probably start counterattack.
Yeah, actually, Black has Sente right now.
Right.
So he can certainly do it. First of all, we're just gonna like a target here, and then just make sure he gets the throw in.
Oh yeah, throw in first.
And then extend. So he got the first move, right? We're saying that White's gonna use the Sente to Hane and take the center, but now that's not gonna happen anymore for the time being. So Black can extend, and White has to run out. And now we have a running battle. So Black's gonna run out as well, and White jumps out. So yeah, already like things have changed, right? So now it's much harder for White to make an area because you need like another move to close in. So that's not so natural.
Yeah, and after Black extended here, this area, this whole group is getting weaker. The White groups are in this area. So later on, Black can make this Sente, and then this move might work.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's the stone here, right? If you covered everything, obviously there wouldn't be any problem. But like now, there's not, the ladder doesn't work anymore. So there could be something tricky.
Right, the entire group on the bottom area now is not completely alive.
Right.
So in the mid game, the thickness is very important. So attacking from the bottom looks like White is getting more territory, but in reality, White is giving the thickness to Black.
Yeah.
The control, because we always want to attack from the weaker side instead of from a stronger side. So if we are able to Hane the stone, Hane the move here, now we have the thickness in the center. Instead, now everything is kind of falling apart.
Oh no.
No. None of the group is connected.
Of course, from our point of view, it means we get to see more drama on the board. But yeah, like certainly if you're supporting Jeremy, you would think, oh no, that's gonna be complicated, at least in the center, to say the very least. So yeah, like right now, Black's I think just trying to live, right?
These are all the Sentes.
Yeah, all Sentes, and then White has to fix here. So yeah, actually, Black is alive. Black has 2 eyes, so he managed everything. Yeah, so I guess he gained something there, right?
As Black.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay,
now
so
you
White.
can see this move is still in a very awkward position. If White still needs a move to connect on bottom to secure the territory, but that means Black has another Sente.
Yeah.
So in this situation, I think White shouldn't give another Sente to Black right now. The center area is too urgent.
Well, I think in the context of like strong players' games, right? Like giving away a Sente means a lot of things. Like you could really lose the whole game from there. Maybe if when we just started playing Go, right? It's not such a big problem because then you're really thinking about just protecting your own groups, right? Just stick with the basics. But when you get to AGA 7 Dan or professional level like yourself, right? Then if you like lose the Sente, that's a pretty like serious thing, right? In the match, you could just fall behind from there.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially toward to the very end game, Sente is very important. All right, let's see how where did White.
Sure. Let's see how White copes with this.
Play the knight's move here.
Oh, first of all, he turns.
Oh, he turned first.
Yeah.
And then
Tries to steal some points. So actually, this is this working? Can Black walk?
Locally, it's not working, but actually, White wants Black to block there so that White can sacrifice the 2 stones and get a good shape on the outside. And then now the whole group is alive. Once a group is alive, it's thick and is strong, so you don't have to worry about any weakness anymore.
That's true.
Yeah. So in the actual game, maybe Mark feels the winning chance, and then
he's smelling it. I tell you what, you get rusty from not playing in tournaments sometimes. Like in the beginning you might feel like you're playing slow moves, but this never goes away. If you're a strong player, I feel like they always you're always gonna have the sharp sense of identifying the important moments in the match, right? So this might be Mark thinking, all right, I've got a target here. Right?
Yeah, especially there are multiple weak groups on the board.
Yeah.
All right, and then
I think he jumped on that pretty
captured
quickly. He's like it's like a leopard waiting for the prey to move.
oh, by the way,
Yeah.
how's the time control for the for the game?
Well, I'll tell you what. For the time format, we have 90 minutes per player in the U.S. Masters, as always been, and we have 5 periods of 30-second Byoyomi. So of course we can actually try to get an update and
Maybe-
ask our producers maybe. So we will try to find out how much time they have left. But yeah, I think we are. Well, they started playing at like 9 o'clock in the morning, so now it's like 11:47. Which is almost
Pretty much
the 3-hour
almost
mark.
at
So
Byoyomi.
I'm guessing one of them should be in Byoyomi by now.
Yeah, I see.
Or at least very soon, if not. Yeah, but like we said on the board, Mark is pretty quick to, identify the problems White has in the shape, so he's immediately played that.
Maybe Mark is already in the Byoyomi time.
Yeah. So,
White.
okay.
next. Does White need to connect here?
Yeah.
I think so. I think the game becomes
Ah,
more
okay.
complicated
Yeah.
again.
So I think that earlier on we did have a time update. My apologies. So White has, well, as of 8 minutes ago, White had 3 pairs left. So actually Jeremy is in Byoyomi already. We can confirm for you.
That's
now.
why.
Yeah.
Because now I think the game becomes more complicated again.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Black. Well, this was like 22 minutes ago, but Black still has nearly an hour left.
Oh, wow.
So, well, actually, Mark is playing pretty quickly. We didn't, of course, we didn't have a live picture of the players' room just yet. We'll of course try to get that up as soon as possible. But yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
it would seem that Mark has a pretty big time advantage. So that means, of course, we always say that you can also think during your opponent's time, right? But you just the pressure is completely different, right? When you have to like produce something in the next 30 seconds versus when you have like, I don't know, 45 minutes.
See, I told you he's not a slow-paced style at all. He's pretty fast.
Yeah, maybe we should give him like a nickname or a hurricane or something. I don't know.
nickname,
So
sounds
we
good.
should. It's about time we start giving nicknames to these strong players. Like other sports, like tennis, for example, or yeah. So anyway,
So leading on time,
Yeah.
especially in a mid game, is a huge advantage. So the board is very complicated, and Jeremy only has a 3 times Byoyomi.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
well-
mean, yeah. This is tricky. I mean,
I'm worried now.
well, I'm worried too. So of course we can check with the actual game what happened because we still have about 50 moves left. So we'll just kind of speed through this quickly. I think both of them are playing quite rapidly at this pace. Okay, well, yeah, we're trying to resist first of all, and then Black's chasing after. Oh, sorry, there was a stone here already. Oh, okay.
Can
So
we
we
go
missed
back?
something.
So White.
There was this exchange. White played a small nice move. Okay, so he was setting up like a.
The eye space, and then Black tries to break out from here, and this group is not strong yet, and
Yeah.
then the 5 stones are not strong, and then
Yeah.
what happened after?
Well, Black's chasing after the group, so he's jumping out.
So after this move,
Oh,
White
sorry.
attached,
Yeah, white attached. Yeah.
and Black played a 1 special.
Oh, and I think we just got an update in real time. Like Jeremy has 2 periods left now.
Okay, I see.
Oh no, it's not looking good. Well, we should of course quickly fast forward to the game first, maybe. Yeah, like Black's gonna jump out, and then White moves out. I think this is pretty like one-way street though, right? Because White has to connect up. So yeah,
I think Mark now is trying to.
He's smelling the blood.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The whole group on the top, the Liberty
no.
is very short.
Oh no. So White has to defend this, right? Because otherwise, like Black can like
Yeah.
kill the top. So
Just dead.
right. So yeah.
White needs to connect.
White needs to
But
connect.
this whole group will get surrounded.
Oh no.
Oh no, just to go. I was expecting the honey on the
Yeah.
top.
This is even more brutal. I think he's even taking
He's
out.
looking for the
Elastic.
card directly.
So right now, if you connect, right, then Black would just wedge, and then the whole group is dead.
Yeah, is dead. Yeah, so
Oh my God.
White is not able to save 2 groups at the same time.
Right.
White connects here and the Black can.
That's so painful.
Right, the 5 stone. Or I can make this exchange first.
Oh, it's
And
really
then
so bad.
And then White
Yeah.
still have to fix the card in Gote.
But of course, like if the 5 stones are captured, that's probably end of the story, right? 'Cause that's way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. So okay, White played target's mouth. And I think, we do have time update. So Mark is 51 minutes, and Jeremy is in the last Byoyomi period. So yeah, this is pretty extreme time difference. Mark has all the time in the world now. So just to be clear, just to clarify once again, that the Byoyomi periods are 30 seconds each. In the Transatlantic, of course, we had like 60 seconds, which is of course more time. You can even verify your option.
That's even intense, 30 seconds.
I mean, my heart just can't stop beating when like the countdown, because we have like the in clocks, right? And they like actually read out the seconds, and it's so nerve-wracking. But yeah, anyway, speaking of that, we had one question from the chat earlier. So do strong players have particular strategies about using their time? Is that something they plan out or practice?
Yeah, we actually do.
You do?
We have a strategy on using times.
Should you, well, I mean, you're like the championship team from the Panda City League, so you must have like a secret recipe, but I don't know, do you mind sharing?
So of course, I like to share everything.
Sure.
So let's say the time set format is 1 hour, and then so City League time format is 1 hour and 5 times 30 seconds Byoyomi.
Yeah. So actually, this one is just like 30 minutes more than that.
Yeah. So usually we don't spend a lot of time on openings, because opening is not so. We pretty much know similar strategies in the opening, because there are josekis too and fusekis. And we won't spend a lot of time on the opening. We'll just play whatever we feel more comfortable. And then we save all of our time, meantime, in the mid game.
So the mid game is actually where the most events take place on the board, right?
Because not only we have to read a lot of sequences, but also we have to do a very accurate judgment. So reading the sequences are not very hard for a professional to do, but making the correct judgment is the most important and hardest part.
I think the biggest difference between Fuseki and the other parts, right, is you don't have any like set patterns to follow, because like each game is different. So like you can of course prepare something in the Fuseki, right, and then you just have that in your mind, and you can just we're gonna play it out. You know? But when it comes to mid game, actually you encounter completely different situations, and of course you can draw on some of the patterns, but you always have to read out in each individual case like what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So usually we don't use all of our times in this situation, in this early stage, because this is a very complicated situation. If one of the professionals is in the Byoyomi stage, that means probably both players are already in the Byoyomi stage, so that not one of them is leading by time, so that they can have more time to think. So just think about it. If I have 1 hour to think for the rest of the game, and then my opponent only has 30 seconds per move, of course, it's harder for my opponent to make correct moves.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost everybody plays worse in Byoyomi. I don't know about you, but I think certainly, of course, there are some freaky creatures who play better even in Byoyomi. But yeah, like in general, it's much, of course, with much fewer time, it's difficult to make good decisions, right? And then you can just kind of sit back and press even your opponent a little bit, and just I think when you see your opponent, you're being super calm and like having 50 minutes left, they're seem unfazed whatsoever. It can be difficult. So of course we'll try to follow this game and see how Jeremy responded, because right now he's in sudden death, so all the moves are coming at us at the speed of a rocket, so we had to catch up. So, okay, white's pushing, and black is gonna extend. Okay, white has to link up. Yeah, all these groups are becoming targets now, and black even connects.
So black already connected.
Yeah.
Only thing.
Oh, so actually even this is connected now, because even if you Atari, then black would just Atari here, right? So that's like already possible.
Okay, so.
And then this. Oh no. And then black. Oh, black even gets the peep.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, this is akin to a proverbial boxing match. In the second stage of this game, like black really started punching. It felt like he had to force white to like connect here, and he was taking back all the points there. He was taking this.
I think that the problem is still this move. So after this, as we can see, after this move, what did white get? White didn't get anything. The corner is still there. White
Yeah.
didn't get any points, but what black gets break out here and
Yeah.
then reduced all the potentials in the center, and then everything now is alive.
Yeah, but black's just pressing on, you know, and if anything, white probably lost some points. You could have made more in that
And
area.
black gets this move, which is one of the biggest move on the board
Yeah.
as well. Okay.
Yeah, so that was huge. I mean, like if white had connected, right, then that's would be a different story because there wouldn't be any like sente forcing moves here, and then maybe you wouldn't have to like play the catcher. So yeah, like black is just pushing out even further at this point. So even Hane works now because of course if you Atari, then like something bad is gonna happen, right?
Right. That's why the thickness is very, very important in the mid game and later mid game, but
Right.
before end game, because when now black is all connected. Usually this move will be overplaying move,
Yeah.
because one of the stones will get captured. But since black is very thick in the corner, so then black can just sacrifice the stones over here, and then once this group is cut off, and everything is dead there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then.
All right. So white
White
still connect.
White has to connect.
Yeah, I think we still have some moves to catch up to, but I think we can just see the finish, right? We're fine with this. And then black's gonna Atari, connect. Oh, that's even more points stolen from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like early on, like this move, right? Now it's not even making any points anymore. So
Right.
it's really unfortunate placement. I'd
Yeah,
say.
one move just gave the initiative away, and then white lost everything on the board.
Oh no. Yeah, like of course, like black's not concerned about this eye shape now because he even made one eye over there with points, so that's not a problem. So we just play out these solid center exchanges, and then white plays here. So just now we're actually entering the end game, right? Which is collecting the smaller pockets of territory, because like all the groups are kind of settled, and there isn't really anything to like chase after or kill. So you just like take the edges, right? The third lines, the second lines, the first lines.
Right.
So probably white's gonna block. Yeah, white's gonna block.
While you're playing the moves on the board, let me count
Sure.
who is leading.
Yeah.
So
So we
far.
just. I'm just gonna try to complete the picture for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and so all these are just
Fill
kind of
all
center
the
exchanges.
boundaries.
Yeah. And then, oh, you know what? Actually, white didn't even connect there. Is there something here? Because white didn't connect. Like, is there
right.
something strange going on? Can
So
black
it
play here?
will be a Seki.
Oh wow.
So this move, and then you block this move.
Oh no.
So I think the corner will be a Seki.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, so that means this move is even larger than we thought, right?
Right.
Because if this becomes Seki, then even these points are gone, and then like the connection here will be like an ultra big move.
But it depends on who has this move. So if white is able to surround black, and then that will be a sente for black. For white,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
And if that's a sente,
Sure.
so the corner will be alive, because I can bump here.
Looks like we have a result actually in the game. White has resigned, so we can confirm for you that Mark Lee, the 75, well, right now the records should be updated to 76 wins and 5 losses. He has actually defeated Jeremy Chiu 6-on by resignation on board 1 of round 1 of the US Masters. So it looks like he's gonna take his first victory. We can, of course, finish the games now. I was. Yeah,
So I was counting the board.
Yeah.
Black is leading by more than 10 points on the board.
Okay, so we can maybe just quickly play the moves out and then see where it takes us. Yeah. And then, oh no, white even connected here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just losing more and more points now. And then connect. Oh, he even has to connect there because that group's not alive.
After that move, let's see. White only get a 3 points.
That-
it's better not to play that move
that
compared
went-
with the variation in the actual game.
That went downhill like
That's,
really quickly. Yeah. So as you can see, like if you have to connect like this, then white's actually not making any points. And yeah, and then black can even connect, and white has white cannot connect these now. Well,
Oh
because
yeah,
black
there's a.
will push.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the 4 stones are dead. All right, so now after the 4 stones are dead.
Yeah, the game's definitely over at this point.
Yeah.
Right? So we just play out the finish. So this is what happens. And tick and connect. So just push. Yeah, I think at this point
There's no way for
white
white to win.
resigned. So just here and here, and that was the end position. So of course, I think after black really pounced on white's mistake early on, right, when white didn't make a lot of points from that. He had a good position though, right? Early on, he looks like in the mid game.
Very good position.
Yeah, he destroyed black's bottom moyo, and looks like black's playing some slow moves, and he was really attacking. So for 1 second we thought, oh my God, I think Markley's in trouble. But yeah,
You never know
fair
in
play.
Go games.
Gotta say that the man is rated 10 down for a reason. Of course he's officially 7 down, but his rating is actually 10 for those of you who actually check out the AGAGD. By the way, Steve mentioned that this morning. It's a really good website. You can check out all the tournament records that we've ever had. It's always there. Like all the U.S. Masters results are always going to be logged onto that database. So so Markley looks like he's going to add another win to that portfolio. It's going to.
That's
I
one
don't
of the
know.
most interesting and fun thing to do in Go game because you never know what's going to turn out.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much what's going on in this tournament. Because remember last year, last year I don't know if you remember, we had 2 9-dan professionals. Of course, An Dao-hoon and Ding Wei who were playing, and the result was super unexpected, right? Because we're pretty much we thought, okay, they're 9 dans, right? Are they? We thought they would be, of course, top favorites for the tournament, but in the end, it was our Tim Sung who won the U.S. Masters last year. So you never know. Markley certainly looks like he's in good form, despite maybe he played a few slow moves there, but certainly he's looking pretty sharp. So he's going to return, of course, to the stage tonight at 7 p.m. But pretty great commentary. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us this morning.
Thank you too.
I think we're just going to directly cut to Chris, right? Cool. In that case, thank you so much. We'll see you tonight.
All right, we are back. What an exciting game. What an exciting finish. Thanks again to both Stephanie and Stephen for some great commentary. That's the kind of game that as a viewer, as a commentator, you just live for. I have to tell you, I mentioned earlier, big tennis player. Some of you are probably like me following the Wimbledon here. The reason I raise it is Djokovic and Federer are in the 5th set at 6-5. Remember in England and Wimbledon, you have to win by 2. And coming back to the game, it's not done till it's done. And I have Ryan. First of all, Ryan is part of the winning team from New York yesterday, so congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
Well done. That was an exciting game. I enjoyed watching that.
Also down to the wire.
Also down to the wire. My point exactly. So, you can have sort of I wouldn't say comfortable, but you can be ahead or in a good position, right? Game's not over.
Yeah, it's not. It's just started. Once you've taken the lead, the game just becomes that much harder to play. Because when you're behind, you're kind of playing your normal moves. It's easier to play at your level. But when you're ahead, it's a different story almost.
In what way?
In your mind, there's a different type of psychology kicks in, right? Like when you're ahead, you're feeling, especially you start thinking about your opponent. You start thinking about, if I win the game, what's going to happen? And to me, I think that's one of the hardest things is in any competitive sport is that when you're winning, and you can't think about what happens after. You just have to focus at the moment, because when you start having a lead, that's actually when the game starts for you.
It's almost the most dangerous time, isn't it?
It
because
is.
you do your you've come through. You've probably done some good stuff to get there, right?
Yeah.
And so that feels pretty good. And in a sense, the finish line is, you can kind of see your way to winning. But I think there's two things that happen. One is, as you say, you have to sort of deal with your own what's happening there, but also at the same time, your opponent is probably going to be looking to ramp their game up.
Exactly.
So you know, you have to be really careful because, especially if they're behind,
they've got nothing to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it really puts a lot of pressure. Because I remember in your game yesterday, you know, it was looking pretty good, looking pretty comfortable. But I was watching you, you know, and actually when I was in the room, and you know, you're like, you did not look comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I try to keep myself in form is, especially when you're leading, it's just so easy to think about other things other than the state of the game. And it happens to everybody. And especially during my game yesterday, I had a lead, but Tim managed to make the game into a fashion where it started to get more complicated. And when that happens, when you have a lead, it makes it even harder to kind of sort things out and carry it to the end.
Yeah, it just seems like a real, and I think this game we just saw was a classic example of that. And also, I think, and maybe you could talk about this a little bit, that in especially in a top level Go game, there are so many things going on, right? Because you guys don't resolve stuff generally, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
too many things to keep
too
track
many
of.
things going on,
Yeah.
and I mean, oftentimes I'll come in, like I wander around the U.S. Open, I'll look at, you know, the lower boards, and it's like, okay, that's done, you know, these are settled, things, this is dead, this is alive, and I go up and I look at the, you know, in the Masters and the boards, it's like, it takes me a little while to sort of figure out, because nothing's really, you know, quite alive, you know, that looks a little weak,
Right.
What is going on here?
Yeah. Especially that, which means really it requires a lot of focus. You have to really stay in your game. You have to focus on what you need to focus on, right? I mean, in the game earlier, I think Byoyomi was definitely one of a big
Overtime.
hit. Yeah, overtime, right.
Well, can you just talk real quickly before we wrap up about that? Because I think you're absolutely right. I mean, definitely Tim was under clock pressure. Although, you know, generally speaking, the top players, they kind of thought stuff out. But how can that become a factor?
Yeah, I mean, when anyone is forced to play a move within 30 seconds, realistically, 25 to 28 seconds, it's...
And people should know that you know, the clock is at that point is counting it down. I think it's the last 10 seconds. It's actually counting it down.
Right. When you're on the last Byoyomi, it counts from 1 and it goes to 9, and then overtime.
It's so nerve-wracking.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Byoyomi can be a huge hit, especially when you're in the moment when. No matter what the game state is like, you're forced to play a move. If you haven't decided, you know, you're just forced to, you know, you got to make a decision. And, you know, that's when, that's a big time for error.
Right. And errors, you're not necessarily talking about a group will live or die, although that does happen. But a lot of times what happens is that maybe the margin, because the margin in these games, and for those of you that are new to the game, it can be very difficult. In chess, you can see pretty clearly you're down, you know, actual pieces, and so it can be clearer. But in Go, it could be, you know, you might have a margin of just a handful of points, and so you can see, like, so in this game, all of a sudden points to start, you know. You start losing, you know, here's 4 stones here, with 8 points.
Exactly, yeah.
That's big.
Exactly, that's a good point, yeah. So a lot of the time, every move is an exchange, right? If the lead is only, say, 10 points, and you lose 2 in 5 exchanges, the lead is gone, right? It just can happen real quickly.
Slips through your fingers.
Right.
Yeah. Wonderful. Again, congratulations yesterday, New York, the Big Apple triumphs once again. Congratulations to the whole team. It was great. And I know you're going to be around all week, and you're not playing because I know you've got a conference to go to later this week, so we may have to get you back in here.
I'd be happy to.
All right. It's Ryan Lee, part of the winning team from New York in the City League. That's going to wrap up this morning's coverage. Thanks again to Stephen and to Stephanie for great commentary. As always, Babs, our fabulous producer, for getting us in and out. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock, with round 2. It's a tough day for the players. We got 2 rounds today, but we'll be back with. Sorry?
Oh, the Redmond at 3 p.m.
And the Redmond at 3 p.m. I don't know. Are we broadcasting that?
So, right?
I think that's yes. So Redmond at 3 o'clock. Tune in on OGS, but we'll be back here with the stream at 7 o'clock tonight. Thanks again for watching.
Also, congratulations to Mark Lee.
Oh, of course, congratulations to Mark Lee. Sorry.
We're
Round 1 winner.
yeah.